G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is an anti-armor plasma caster with VATS criticals doing plus 50% more damage, which would make this a anti-armor lucky plasma caster because lucky does increase your crit damage, just like in Fallout 4. Remember, we're playing the same game here with just different assets, mostly. Anyway, so to synergize with the extra crit damage we get out of the legendary effects, I've got a calibrated capacitor, which will give me even more, and there's kind of two ways I could go about this. I could either A, go down to Nerd Rage Threshold and use my unyielding armor for enhanced perception, agility, and luck to dish out more damage more frequently, or I could tank it up in power armor. So we're going to be doing both of these. For the super mutant section, where I feel like I might need that extra bit of tankiness, I'll be using power armor, but everything else where I'm not getting shot at so much, I think I could get away without using power armor, so we can maximize the damage output a little bit. We'll see how that goes. We've also got a default appearance. It's kind of a weird slot to have, seeing as my knowledge goes. There's no skins for this thing yet. So when are you gonna start selling those? So we got 76 ballistic and energy damage. It's cool. It's a reference to what the game is, and we've got lock and load to increase the reload speed of this because it's only got a pretty small ammo capacity at 20, so that's useful. Chuck on all of the heavy gunner perks. No room for through hiker and agility because we've got to use action girl, because if we're in power armor, that means our AP regen is not going to be as fast than it is with our unyielding armor with AP regen. Note how there's no bloody mess here. We're going for a major crit spamming sort of a setup here, so we actually probably get better damage on average with extra critical damage. Obviously, we're all synergizing these things together, so I feel like that's a good idea. They've also got critical savvy to somewhat double the rate of what I'm getting criticals, but it might be pretty slow going, so just keep that in mind. I've also got stabilized. That's not going to be swapped out, but potentially Action Girl can be swapped out for something like Evasive if I decide to use this thing outside of power armor. That's Tenderizer to make sure if whatever we don't one-shot, we two-shot, hopefully. And a couple of things like Concentrated Fire to zero in on a limb if we want to use the criticals exclusively for headshots. That's a good idea. Here's my things. I've got Ammo Factory there. I swapped that one out for Power Armor thing the other day where you get revived. What's it called? Yeah, I've wasted quite a lot of perk coins on things that I don't really want to use all that much. It's Power Armor Reboot, but unfortunately if I want to swap that back, I gotta spend a coin, and then if I want to swap it again, I gotta swap another coin, which is annoying. Hopefully when Bethesda brings out the legendary loadout thingies that they've been teasing, hopefully they'll sort out that problem there, because originally in the PTS it wasn't like that at some point, but then they decided to change it because fuck you and fuck your build, I guess. And now we're getting 122 each in energy and ballistic, which is pretty good. Yeah, high base damage, sure. Okay, so here we are outside of the PvP arena, and I'm about to, you know, cement myself in PvP history as General of the Enclave. So yeah, that's what we look like. We've got some cool Enclave power armor, and let's begin. No beating around the bush. As you can tell, accuracy is pretty decent. Not too bad, and we're kind of out of AP already. Make sure we don't want to jump around all that much so we can preserve as much AP as possible for actually shooting these guys. And I just cocked-blocked myself out of VATS there. The dog ran behind me, like my toon, and then it broke a VATS lock, which is absurd. They really ought to do something about that. Anyway, so we're being shot at quite a lot at the moment, but that's okay because we're in power armor. We can kind of take the hits. These guys can't, though. I also think that it's a little bit context sensitive to use a Enclave power armor suit whilst using a plasma caster, just like old Fallout used to be. You know, the one that the boomers are always going on about, saying how much better Fallout is when it's made by not Bethesda, and you know they go on about how much Bethesda doesn't understand having you know, things in it. They don't. Bethesda doesn't understand Fallout, and then they go ahead and create the Fallout Frontier mod and just basically embarrass everyone in the process. Wow, that's it's been certainly an interesting thing to keep watch of. Also, be aware of your long-ass barrel on this thing. It could lead to you getting in a little bit of strife with shooting things that you're not meant to shoot at. We've got a critical, so we'll take out him before it can disappear, I suppose. We ended up pulling a legendary out of that. And 2 headshots for him. Concentrated fire does a lot better on this than automatic weapons because we get that extra 20% every shot. It's an interesting balance change. Probably something that was necessary, but honestly, I reckon they could probably push that up to, I don't know, maybe 8% per shot for automatics, because the rate at which you gain accuracy these days from automatics with concentrated fire, means you're going to be missing a fuck ton of shots. So I think if they could buff that a little bit, that'd be nice. But no, we can't buff things. We have to nerf everything, don't we? I know how this game works. Okay, so we're only at, what, 70% health, which is, you know, we're pretty good. We could probably, you know, run around and start critting these guys back to back like that. I don't know how I'm doing that, to be honest, but tell you what, some extra luck would be nice. I've got room on my legendary perks to grab 3 more points in the special, so that would actually allow me to grab 3 more points of luck, which is helpful. I'd be able to chuck bloody mess in and get that tiny little pissant bonus of damage out of that. But you know, everything counts when it's additive damage, because you know, you just don't get as much per perk anymore, which is why we use Through Hiker all the time, because it's the most OP perk of all. Next, we'll go into this room. Super Mutant Demolisher, managed to knock him off before he, you know, regenerated, which is nice. Got a context-sensitive 10mm pistol there. Gonna just play it nice and slowly. I mean, I can jog around just fine, right? That's fine. But, you know, jumping around is where we want to, you know, show a little bit of restraint. Exercise that, because we need that AP for targeting and bats and for gaining those criticals. Oh no, I'm at Nerd Rage threshold now. Now I'll be doing increased damage slightly. Not a whole lot, but, you know, enough to make it sort of noticeable. Whoops, didn't mean to sprint there. We'll cover that AP regeneration with some reloading, and then shoot that guy twice in the head to kill him. So I don't think we could probably do a lot better than the old 2-shot kill on a super mutant like that, unless we grab Through Hiker and then eat all of the food benefit perks things. I mean, we get a critical and we kill him in 1 shot, which is nice. But I've actually noticed how squishy Super Mutant Overlords are these days. I was actually killing him in 1 shot with the Heart Wrencher, and I've got an anti-armor swing speed variant of that. So, you know, those guys aren't tough. It's the Mutant Hounds. They're the real fucking killers of the lot. They're the dangerous ones. Anyways, so we're going through here now. Don't have to worry about straight explosion damage, so we just run right in, get nice and close, maintain that accuracy. And there we go. Hop out of the power armor. It's time to get a little bit more tension going, because I'm not dying in that easily unless I get damage over time. But, you know, it might be a little bit more interesting if I have a thread of my life going. Alright, so let's march right into the Ghoul home and then see how good we are at exterminating this thing. I mean, we're not going to exterminate this thing. No, there's been durability fixes, so this thing's not going to break on me. It's so effective that oh, it staggers ghouls. That's nice. Well, I suppose that's to be expected if you get hit by a big blob of plasma like that. Yeah, I haven't repaired this thing at all. I used it a tiny bit before we got going, because A, I needed ammo, and B, I wanted to get back into the swing of things. And whoops. Always remember to unequip and re-equip your weapons if you're jumping in or out of power, because it screws over your reload speed, which is not good. Alright, we're being a little bit surrounded now. We actually got trapped in the corner there. Probably wasn't paying as much attention as I probably should have. But lesson learned, and we get a free heal out of it. Also, did I get radworms? You know, they only, like, it's more radiation from food or drinks. They nerf the crap out of radworms. I reckon these ghouls are fucking livid about that. Firstly, they're laughing that the players got their damage nerfed so they can tank a little bit more of the shit. But then they go ahead and then nerf the ghouls' diseases that they give you. At least one of them. The fat asses give you the glowing pustules, which is not nice. I'm actually probably right to target exclusively headshots here. 76%, I like those odds. I'd go for that shot on XCOM, that's for sure. Probably should have saved the critical for the dude in here, which I believe is going to be a fat ass. Yep, there he is. Yeah, not bad, not bad. Nice efficiency on that kill with in terms of how many bullets I'm using, so that's good. I think one of the biggest issues with this weapon is it's not hit scan, so hitting shit outside of VATS and at range is going to be a pain in the ass, which is never reflected by any of the original Fallout gameplays. You could ding people across the bloody map with this thing. Well, with what this thing was. I suspect it's slightly different now, but yeah, they actually acknowledge that shit in Fallout New Vegas. If you work for the Van Graffs, right, and you choose a laser gun, the guy who does door guard with you says, you know what, yeah, that's good, that's more accurate, because you don't have to worry about leading your target and blah, blah, blah. So, you know, I guess retroactively they acknowledged it, right? Also, weird lighting. Alright, now we can safely step away from our enemies and not be confined in places where we will get mauled by ghouls. How do we fare? Well, not too bad so far, considering we just nailed those 2 headshots with fairly terrible odds from all the way back here. We are in danger now, which is a shame. I'd rather not be. That's okay. As long as we stick ourselves to cover and don't whiff 95% shots, then we'll be fine. A little bit of VATS consistency fixes would be nice. You know, whilst we're at the part of the game where patch 25 has just passed and has gone ahead and fixed a lot of the dumb shit. So, you know, there's a lot of things that need to be done, but strides have been taken to, you know, get it started, right? So, hopefully Bethesda keeps the momentum up. Swan's up bright and early. That freeze suntan across his face. Let's go for some headshots here. Managed to run out of AP there. Doesn't really matter in the end. Okay, so this should be fine as long as we get the drop on the Mirelurk Kings, which we just did, and maybe the Mirelurk Queen as well. All of the royalty Mirelurks need to die without me really having a good fight with them, you know? Now, the good thing about the regular old Krabby Boys is they've got a big fucking silhouette, so it's actually quite easy to hit them. At least on PC it is. Console it might be different because you got to aim with sticks, like it's the 1980s. There we go, there goes another one. Good old concentrated fire doing some work, and this lot is going over there. I don't know how long or how much this Mirelurk King just buggers off to chase these guys, but come on, it's not very time efficient here. Let's get that AP back. Oh, looks like we're going to be dragged into this fight too. Scorched aplenty. Let's just go back to the torso, I think, just to guarantee the shots. That's nice. Hey, I'm hearing that Mirelurk King somewhere. There he is. Yeah, he's kind of stuck there, which is helpful. Oh, he's gotten himself out. Too late, Mr. Crab. Or it might have, well, it could have been either way because they can sometimes apply their damage over time. Alright, stop reloading. Time for shooting. Hey, look, it's another Vampire's light machine gun. You know, keep getting those. Got one during my script dump yesterday. That's good. It's got bash damage though, so, you know, it's not ideal. We'll make our way back to where the Mirelurk Queen stays, and now we've got at Nerd Rage threshold. How much luck have we sitting on right now? 24. It's not terrible, but it'll be enough to get maybe the crits every 3 or 4 shots. And apparently a gun bash is all it took to get her going. Not one for the spicy touch, is it? Well, probably could have handled that better. Not standing there whilst she'd spat at me with her hit scan snot globs. She be right there. Again, I respawn. No resources lost except for I'm over capacity now because that fucking Vampire's light machine gun. Annoying. We'll deal with it. But you can see where she spits them. Well, let it be known that it's actually really fucking easy to dodge a Mirelurk Queen's attacks, but if you're just sitting there, then it's not so much. Now, I'm kind of screwing myself over here because I ran out of fucking VATS points, so I couldn't move. Basically, I'm not fit for playing right now. Right, let's just start this again, except you've got more legs crippled, because screw you, I guess. So the thing about Mirelurk Queens are they've got like 50,000 health. It's more like 8,000, but You know, they're just one of those enemies that Bethesda are like, hey, let's just make a tanky enemy for the sake of being tanky. It doesn't really add a lot to the game, me sitting here and shooting the same fucking thing for 10 minutes. But, you know, it's pretty standard stuff from Bethesda. You get it eventually, don't worry. It's really odd that sometimes you get killed instantly by it, and then other times you just shrug it off, bit of damage over time. Probably a bug. Yeah, probably a bug. Righto, one last slug for me to deal with. Let's finish off these mutants first, because I heard some gunfire and I'm very irritated by that. There goes one. Go for some bad headshots there. End up losing my VATS lock because it's fucking Fallout 76. I've actually noticed that there's like a significant amount of rubber banding health bars. Maybe not so much now, but like earlier during the recording, that shit was happening. Also, I've got no defensive perks except for evasive right now, so there's no serendipity, none of that for any. Ooh, don't give me that shit. None of that stuff for survivability, but that's okay. We'll just shoot this. Oh, that's better. Look. You know, this game's a lot more fun when it's not full of fucking Mirelurk Queen bullet sponges. Lame shit mini boss. I actually don't like them. I've come to that conclusion just now. They're just way too over the top with their health, and they don't really offer that much in the way of fun. See, when it comes to shit like Scorch Beast, where you can knock them off like that, they're supposed to be the big bads, but if they go toe-to-toe with a Mirelurk Queen, obviously landed, well, they're not going to win, unless they Scorchify the Mirelurk Queen. That's different. There's a big power difference between a Scorch Beast, a Super Mutant Behemoth, and a Scorch Beast, and a Mirelurk Queen. I don't care of the Scorch Beast Queen and Earl Williams. They are supposed to be raid bosses. It's a separate problem. I could forgive their overly top tankiness when we had multiplicative damage, but now it's absurd. Like, you know, they want us to play those events as a team. It was perhaps a little bit embarrassing for them to see like massively min-max characters wipe the floors with their bosses in less than 30 seconds, but fuck you, I was having fun with that until you ruined it. So I think it has redeemed itself a little bit versus the Scorch Beast. It's certainly done well. It's just that these slower firing weapons, which don't get a whole lot of damage per shot on something like a Mirelurk Queen, really, really, really fall behind with it. And it kind of sucks. For reasons that I've already mentioned. And honestly, if it hadn't have gone that well against the Scorch Beast, I probably would have written the weapon off because, well, it just sucked against a Mirelurk Queen. And I like versatility, damn it. But you know what? I think this is probably my best plasma caster I have now. I've got a bloodied and bash damage one that I've had for ages and I haven't seemed to pull anything better out since this. So I think this might be my best one. If I happen to get a bloodied crit damage one down the line, that's going to be better. And if it's got the faster crit generation on it for the third legendary effect, I think that would be mostly ideal. So you could spam even more crits out of it. But yeah, unfortunately, if you really like this weapon, I can't just give it to you, because honestly, I'm not too attached to it. I could probably let it go, but I can't. If you want to get one, then you gotta get the plans from the vault, and then get the vault things from fucking Murmur, and then you gotta make them on a table, and you get random rolls every time. It's a system that is, in retrospect, so much better than what we've got with the Steel Dawn weapons, and to this day, still haven't unlocked to them. Oh well, and on that note, it's a pretty good weapon. Pretty good. Thanks for watching. See ya.